Almost 7 years ago next month, someone killed Abby Williams and Libby German to the north in the town of Delphi. And now tomorrow morning, their case comes here to Indianapolis.
The Indiana Supreme Court is going to hear oral arguments during a hearing that will help decide how and when this case moves forward. Our senior investigative reporter Bob Segall joins us in studio tonight to explain what the Indiana Supreme Court is being asked to do. Bob?
Well, it's really extraordinary that the Supreme Court is going to hear this case in the first place. Usually, the High Court gets involved in a murder case only after the trial has finished. But Delphi murders defendant Richard Allen has convinced the court to intervene before his trial even starts, because he says without that intervention, he will not get a fair trial. Richard Allen's murder case has been surrounded by drama. The judge removed his original public defenders after accusing them of gross negligence. Judge Gall then appointed new attorneys, but Allen wants the old legal team back, and he says it's the judge, not the attorneys, who should be kicked off the case. Thursday morning, inside the Supreme Court, a civil attorney representing Richard Allen will ask justices to do three things. First, reinstate Allen's original defense team. Second, remove the judge and appoint a new one. And third, set a speedy trial date within 70 days. In order to grant those requests, Supreme Court justices will have to focus on one central issue, according to defense attorney and 13 News legal expert Katie Jackson-Lindsay.
At the heart of it all, their job is to determine whether or not Richard Allen's rights are being violated. Can Judge Gall be a fair judge? Have his rights been violated by these attorneys being removed from this case? Have his rights been violated by now him losing his opportunity for a speedy trial, because that opportunity has come and gone at this point?
And if the defendant's rights have been violated, the Supreme Court will have to decide the best way to fix that.
Is the remedy to reinstate his other attorneys, or is the remedy to make sure that he has adequate counsel that is not those attorneys? Is the remedy to replace Judge Gall, or is the remedy to keep Judge Gall on the case because she has been, in fact, protecting his right? So it's really hard to tell what the outcome could be.
Judge Gall's attorney will try to convince justices that the judge's decisions have been fair, that she is not biased against Allen or his attorneys, and that she should not be removed from the case. Ultimately, the justices will determine not only who represents Allen and who presides over the Delphi murders case, but also when the trial will happen. It was originally set to begin this month, then moved back to October. Allen is now asking for the trial to be moved up, and the court's decision impacts more than just the defendant.
There's a family behind this. There's a family that has been waiting years for an arrest, now years for a trial. And every day that time ticks by, justice delayed is justice denied. And that's for both sides.
The Supreme Court usually takes months to issue its decisions. In this case, with Allen pleading for a speedy trial, a decision will likely come much sooner.
I would be really surprised if it were months or even more than a few weeks.
Tomorrow's hearing is expected to last about an hour, and of course, we will be there.
Yes. Now, Bob, last week there was a new filing by his current attorneys for Richard Allen. And could that filing from last week, which sounded very familiar actually to what the other attorneys were saying, could that impact what happens tomorrow?
Well, it's a great question. That filing last week from his attorneys, they filed a motion asking that Allen be moved to a county jail. And in that motion, the new attorneys said key claims made by Allen's original defense team were valid. That kind of contradicts Judge Gall's claims that the previous attorneys made false statements, one of the reasons she kicked them off the case. So that point could come up during tomorrow's hearing, and it would undermine Judge Gall's position that she was justified in removing the original lawyers.
And when is that hearing tomorrow?
It starts tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We will stream the entire hearing live on WTHR.com. We'll have full coverage throughout the day right here on 13 News.
Yeah, you've had to get a reserved seat and everything credentialed in advance to be there for this coverage, right?
Yeah, we will be there. We will have a good seat for the hearing, and we'll bring you everything throughout the day.